Notre Dame, okay, is really the school that started stealing coaches. When you really look at it, that when they stole Kelly from Cincinnati, it was really the start of a bad trend. And now we're seeing it come, full force. So we have players opted out, and oh, by the way, they are getting paid now, Andrew. Just remember that. So the majority of them are even getting paid, and they're still opting out in these smaller bowls and in some of these bigger bowls. And you're talking about the transfer portal. There's kids that are transferring as we speak that are on bowl teams. They have a practice crew and they have backups, and all of a sudden these guys are playing for a national championship, or you're playing in a big bowl game, and you don't have these kids who you invested in and you took the time to recruit, and their parents, and them, and and you've done everything you could to mentor them and get them to where they're at. And how do they pay you back? How do they pay the alumni back? How do they pay the university back? How do they pay their teammates back, for God's sake? You got teammates, man. And then how do you pay your coaches back with the opted out for the almighty dollar? And look, they're going to regret it for the rest of their lives.
Hey guys, do me a favor. Check to see if you're subscribed to the channel. If you are, great. If you're not, it's super easy. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't sign you up for anything. It just helps us bring you to the insider conversations that the big networks aren't going to cover. Love you guys. Okay, back to the show.
But it goes, Andrew, what it goes to how bad the NCAA really is. I mean, we started this conversation about letting males compete against females, right? That was a big issue. And the NIL was a huge issue. But all these other infractions that they're permitting to transfer. Look, when I was in college, you transferred, you lost a year of eligibility. You understand? You weren't, especially in the same conference, So all of these established rules that the great powers that be over 100 years of this in the NCAA have all gone to where, man. And really, we've been calling for this now for over a year, for there to be a congressional oversight committee formed to get into really what is going on with the NCAA, where, when, and how. And you can go down the list. Look, there is such a big checklist of infractions that have occurred under this current administration in the NCAA. The biggest one to me is it's a non-for-profit, and they got multiple members making millions of dollars to work for a non-for-profit. Give me a break. You understand? We're here for the athletes. We're here for archery and fencing, all the way up to women's volleyball and wrestling, and every sport in between needs to be taken care of and needs to be addressed. Not this absurdity with this NIL that's occurring in the NCAA football and basketball and some wrestling, which disappoints me, and even in hockey, which is disturbing, So if you look at this whole opt-out, coaches opted out, what has it done for Pennsylvania? Okay, it's done terrible for us. The NIL has been such a disaster in the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, especially up in State College. I mean, it is a total disaster. They had a coach that was okay. They had a bunch of great players, not good players, because if you look at their players, Andrew, right? I mean, Oregon's playing, I believe, Oregon and Indiana are the two of the top teams in the country, and both of them were lucky to beat Penn State. They were lucky. So Penn State has the athletes. They have those tough Pennsylvania kids. They just didn't have. Yeah. Look, it wasn't the right day.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
it wasn't the right day.
I saw a little picture online. There's literally, it was a picture of Oregon. I think the kid, the running back's knee was this far off the ground. If the groundskeeper cut the grass a quarter inch more, his knee would have been down. Penn State would have won that game. And then we all know the Indiana catch at the end of the Penn State game. If that blade of grass was just a little bit shorter, that's it. So we're not talking about a big disparity here.
If the assistant coach tells the kid to run and catch the punt on the 1 yard line,
fractions of an inch.
It's a whole different game too.
They said football is a game of inches. Fraction of an inch.
Absolutely.